Hi, good morning, or probably for you, night. What I'm going to be working on today is a rough sheet, sort of. It's more for color picking, so I don't know if I'll do line work on this or it's going to be pure colors. Probably just pure colors, but yeah. So what I have here is I have all of the characters, or some of the characters on the side in various outfits. One didn't really fit here, so I scooched her over there. She also has like her entire ref sheet that I'm going to be using for this. But what I'm going to be doing is, you can't see it super well, but I have this faint grid, right? And I won't stick to it strictly, but it's a bit of a helpful guideline. What I'm going to be doing is I'll be filling in every square with a character until I run out in their various outfits and all that. You'll probably see what I mean later, or not if you're falling asleep to this. But right here I have sketched out Butterscotch and Banana, and for one of them I'll do the green outfit, the other one I'll do the autumn outfit. And so I'm probably going to move on to, I think, Cindy. I'll draw Cindy. So I'll do this in a separate layer so that I have an easier time moving around. But here's her general shape: neck, face, ears, big ol' eyeball. I don't need the details in this to be perfect or exact, same with the proportions, because again, what this is supposed to be is a color palette. And at the end, what I can do with this is I can put it as a top layer in my page setups, so that next time when I do a page, and essentially every time when I do a page, I'll have my color palette right there for every character, and I won't. Sorry, I'm a little bit sneezy today, and I hope that didn't give anybody a jump scare. I won't have to go hunting around in my files for each character, or just guess what the colors are. For Coco, a lot of the time I'm just like randomly guessing the colors. I think I need a tissue. I'll be back in a sec. Alright, I'm back. Hi. So, adding in her other arm, the little collar on her work uniform, her little name tag, and of course the tail. And what I'll do for her, and for every character really, is I'll add this little color picker thing. So I'll do a triangle for ear. I guess another triangle for her other skin tones. Looks a little weird. Maybe I'll just do circles then. So ears and face and ends of the hand. That'll be the light brown, the tan, the gray, the red, the blue, and then I'll do a square over here for the name tag. And I might make her a little bit shorter just so that it takes up less space. There we go. Alright, perfect. We can probably make this a little bigger. Although, I probably don't even need these. I don't think I will need these. I'll probably just need like the name tag one, since it's so small. But that would be about it. Same for with the twins. I might need the eyeball one, but that's probably about it. Which means I can also scooch them a little closer to each other. And I guess I might also need the light brown for Cindy, just because that is a small area. Well, no, we're probably good. Alright, next up is her other outfit. What I'll do is I'll just duplicate this, flip it. Actually, I don't even need it flipped. I'm gonna come down, pants all the way to the floor. And let me scooch this more into view. Making my life easier. Little scarf. Top of the shirt. The sweater's a little long. And I'm not sure if they're like jeans or leggings, I didn't really decide, but it's got that sort of Y2K fold at the top. If you know what I'm talking about. I think that should be good for the alternative outfit. And I guess maybe the scarf might be hard to color select. Maybe. Hopefully not. It'll probably be fine, and if there is issues, then I can correct that later. So let me get rid of this, and I'll scooch this over. I want to save space here, because I anticipate having a giant thing of characters in the end. Not right now, but, you know, as the series goes on, and I keep adding more and more characters, I want to be able to fit all of them on the same page. Or, at the very least, most of them. Alright, so we have Cindy down, we have the twins down. I think next I'll do Smoth and Bill. I'll start with Bill because he has less character outfits at the moment. And let me bring... Actually, I'll just draw down here and then bring it up after. Bill's got a very triangle shape. He's got a... well, I guess less of a triangle, more of a trapezoid. He's got a very trapezoidy... not even. Because I guess the beak is very trapezoidy. The body's like... if a trapezoid had a rest day. Okay. The eye, since the center of it's not black, it's a black spiral with a blue center. What I think I'll do, just for the sake of the rough, is I'll exaggerate the size of the eye. And then I can put the colors of it over here as well. He's also got this beak squiggle, kind of like mustard on a hot dog. So I'll also include the squiggle over here as well. Trying to make it thick so it's easy to color select from later. Alright, and before I move on and do the outfit, I'll duplicate the base of the character. Maybe even, I might even save one for later. Anyways, time for his regular work outfit with the regular t-shirt and the apron. Although I guess it's more of a dress length on him. A t-shirt dress. Let me stylize that a little more. It's already pretty stylized. And then this outfit, I don't have an official ref for this, and it's only been featured in a single frame, which means that maybe I should do something fancier with it. I'll lower the opacity of this and work on top. It's kind of just a basic sweater, and I could keep it that way. I guess I gotta think about this for a second. I could add like some sort of decal on it. I could add a giant circle, but I don't know. Maybe I'm better off leaving it blank for now. You know what I could do? Maybe in a future comic, Smough says something about his plain sweatshirt, and then, not sweatshirt, sweater, and then adds like a cool skull to it or something, making it totally punk rock. Alright, erase. And then I can move all of this up. Yeah. And then Smough. She's all the way over here. I I also do have like an official big rough sheet for her. She's a very detailed character, especially compared to everybody else. Copy and paste. And that wasn't even on the right layer. Going back, copy and paste. And then copy and paste. Alright. And let's scooch all of this over here. Alright. I'll start with body, or maybe the hat. I'll start with the hat. Hat, neck, eyeball. Hair. And because this is so small, I won't bother with all the little spikes. Nose. Gosh. I think eventually it might be worth it trying to simplify her coloring scheme. Though I guess if there's any time to do it, that would be now. I guess I've got to think about it. I also need to make a height chart for everybody. I feel like it's pretty inconsistent. And her little earrings. And I'll do that for the earrings. This and this for the eyes. This for the nose. And then her shirt also needs one because it's striped, and then her pants also need one because they're striped. And then she also needs one for the skin tone. Oh my gosh. Because, like, she is, like, completely black, but for bits where there's, like, gaps in the line work, or lines in the line work, like erased lines, I do this nice dark blue. Alright, but now that we have that out of the way, as complicated as it is, let me grab this outfit and bring it over and bring this layer, wherever it is, to the top. So, hair down for this. Spike, spike. hat. And boop, boop, boop. And earrings. Perfect. And then the sweater with all the little dots on it. And that ends not crazy high, kind of just at a normal length. And slightly baggy pants. I don't know if they would be like sweatpants or cargo. Something that's neither, maybe. And some little shoes. And I think that the shoes would probably need a color block. So I'll give it an arrow over there. I could probably scooch all of this a little closer. Oop. And this can go closer to the body to get out of everything's way. And bring her over closer still. Same with this. This can be moved out of the way. Okay. So all that is sorted. Oop. Also the necklaces. So let's do another one. Show. I'll move it over here so that I can see everything. I wanted to do her pigtails for this one. So they're low pigtails, not like totally low. They still stick out a little bit, but they're pretty low. I used to have pigtails. I'd wear them every day. Even as I got older. Bring this on top. And it's still not visible. Okay, this shirt has a lot going on in it. I feel like I made a lot of Smoth's designs very complicated. Right. Neck up here. Sleeves a little wide. And t-shirt also a little wide. Star. And I wanted to give her like an early 2000s scarf belt, if anybody remembers those. And I guess I never made bottoms for this outfit. But it looks like the type of outfit where everything should go to the floor. And maybe she's got these like super high platforms with it. Real stompers. Stomp, stomp, stomp. Stomp, stomp, stomp. Perfect. And I'll turn off these layers for a sec while I rearrange this. Bringing her up top. I'm gonna add for a sec. She still has her jewelry in for this hairstyle, so I don't need to go over that, but I would need to go over all of the shirt patterning. So orange block, yellow block, dark orange block. And then the star definitely in the middle of the shirt. The scarf belt, because that'll be hard to color grab. And maybe even the shoes, but I'm not sure yet. Probably. It'll depend on what color I make the shoes, I guess. Okay. I'll move Small over here. Oh my gosh, she looks so small. Okay, I gotta make her a little bit bigger. She got really like squished down. Okay. Then I think the only characters that I have left that I should probably sketch out today would be Coco and Mimsy. Or, maybe I should leave it at this for today, because Coco and Mimsy have like a ton of outfits, so they probably need to be in their own, on their own sheet. Okay. Yeah. I'll worry about Coco and Mimsy a different time. I think group, flatten. I think this will be good for now. Group this together, layer it, bases. And then let me make the background color something nice. I know exactly what I want for this. I'm gonna do some hot pink speckles. And erasing it just to get the texture how I want it. And I'm gonna do a clipping mask, and I'm gonna try out making a layer of it yellow. And then, okay, I could either make it small and duplicate it a zillion times, or I'll save it over there, or I can warp it. Ooh. Okay, that looks fun. I like that. That's fun. Okay. Duplicate, flatten. I'm gonna lower the opacity so it's still there but not too distracting, and I can put it back on at the end. And let's start with butterscotch and banana. I'm gonna use a dense brush for this, like I normally would for line work, but it's especially important here because I don't want any gaps. with the color picking and everything. And with this, it's not super important to follow how the character normally looks. You can make things a little more disconnected or whatever you want to get the point across. Especially because there's no line work. And then in another layer, I'll do the green, which I might adjust a little bit. Often enough when I do little color palettes like this, a lot of details get lost on purpose. Like, I might not keep her hands in because I don't really need them, because in my head I know what she looks like and I know that she has hands, and this is just so that I can color pick easy, which I've said a few times. Might be overdoing it by now. Yeah. So this is like a color palette of her. And I feel compelled to add some lines to the eyeball, but that wouldn't be super truthful. Well, I guess truthful isn't really the word for it. Necessary? In the spirit of things. Group. Duplicate. Flip horizontal. And then this one's gonna be banana. They have the same colors. So I don't need to change the eye or the skin or anything. So again, I will use the opportunity to show the second dress. But I'm gonna alter the color of it a little bit, because I made her skin tone a little more saturated in more recent pages. So I think I'll make the dress more saturated too. I'll leave it at that. Group, flatten, group, group, flatten, flatten. I'm thinking if I want to make the eyes more saturated as well. Like if I would want to make it very blue. That might be too blue actually. Maybe. Yeah. What about something a little... No. Keep it in sort of the cyan turquoise range. So let me clipping mask on top. positioned. Maybe a compromise. Maybe only slightly bluer. That might be good. Compromise. Perfect. Alright, now that they're done. Yes, they're done. Let me. Ooh, actually, something that might be important. Speech bubbles. 1, an alternate color. 2, take off that layer. Let me put this back on so I can see if I'm too far outside the line. For banana, I'll have to go back in my files for her actual bubble color, but I can block it out now. I'll have to do that later though. And then middle of butterscotch's bubble. And I'll try not to make it too thick, just so that it's still color pickable. Pick, pick. Okay. So those two are done. Next is Cindy. I'll start with her hair. And then on top I'll do her ears and her eyes. And beneath that, her forehead, arms, and legs. And I'll do a clipping mask on top of the arms to add in the little hand details. Going back down. The reason that I'm using this rough instead of the other one is that it looks a little more saturated, but yeah, it definitely is a little more saturated. Keep keeping everything nice and bright. Face, neck. Going down a little bit because I know on this rough I'm going to need it. Maybe a little more shoulder. Then shirt. Maybe going out a little too much over there. Shirt with I don't see her name tag in this photo, but it's just a light blue. And then I'll add that color picking square over there. Doop, 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 doop. And I'll do her shorts. So I think in more recent pages I've drawn them as more of a light blue than a desaturated jean blue. Yeah, I think I did something more like this. I've been doing something more like that. Let me experiment a little bit. Okay, that's a little too red. Maybe just a little more saturated? No. Maybe a little more saturated and a little brighter. Is that even a different color? I guess so. Okay, let me try making it more saturated. And brighter again. You know what? After all the effort, I'm gonna stick with the original color. Jeans, though. I think this is probably the ideal color, right? I don't know. It still seems so bright. The other one seems so dark. You know what? Let's stick with original colors for now. Yeah, I'll stick with the original colors for now. All that time. Alright, I'll do shoes, even though they're just pitch black. Doop. Doop. And I'll add in her tail. Alright. She is all done. I think I'm gonna pause here. I'm gonna go drink some soup. And I'll finish up the rest of this later. Good night, sleep tight, don't let the bed bugs bite. Bye bye.